Think. The mighty god of war, frightened of his own child.
I do not fear our child, Faye. I fear for him.
Well, there do they call to me.
Finish what you started. He is innocent. He is far better off knowing as little as possible.
Knowledge is not always a burden.
Boy, listen close. I'm from a land called Sparta. I killed many who were deserving.
That night, I was trying to make you a great warrior.
And many who were not. You succeeded.
Is this what it is to be a god?
Does my request upset you?
Is this how it always ends? Sons killing their mothers? Their fathers?
No. Who I was is not who you be.
You will do this for me.
We must be better. You feel their pain because that is who you are.
Please wait. Please.
Open your heart. Open your heart to their suffering.
Open your heart to the world as you have opened it to me, and you will find every reason to keep living in it.
Today, you must be better than me. We will be better.
Growing up is a strange experience. In God of War Ragnarok, we get to see part of this unfold to add to what we originally got from God of War 2018. The things that characters held on to, we realize, were not prisons and were not protections. While letting go can feel like falling, the characters soon realize that they need that release, because within that release is the freedom that they've been craving. It's not merely Kratos and Atreus who together and individually suffer from the plague of holding on. Every major character does, and their lives are worse for it when they refuse to let go. Now, God of War 2018 ended with the shocking reveal that Atreus was actually Loki. His mother, a giant known as Laufey, or Faye for short, concealed this from both Kratos and Atreus, and it sets up the boys' arc in Ragnarok. On top of hoping to prevent the Norse apocalypse, Atreus seeks answers about his past. Who were the giants? Who was his mother? What is his role in all of this? Immediately, this connects all of us to Atreus in a way that we hadn't been connected to him before in the previous game. Now, Ragnarok felt like a firm finale and a proper send-off for Kratos' Norse adventures. And just a few hours in, Ragnarok further deepens that connection by actually letting us play as Atreus. While many of us expected this to happen, we certainly didn't think it would have happened so early in the game. And by doing it then, Sony Santa Monica Studio was able to achieve wonders. Structurally, it served to shake up the pace of the game by giving us a character who played remarkably different from Kratos. The way Atreus gracefully zips around the battlefield, leaping and twirling and hammering enemies with his bow, makes for a refreshing gameplay experience. Much different from the slower, heavy-hitting Kratos, managing to diversify the game's already damn good combat. And it also helps the actor Sonny Sulich, who's grown up so much more since the last game, do a great job of bringing Atreus to life. Now, narratively, for me, taking control of Atreus only enhances the coming-of-age story, which began in God of War 2018. Because in God of War 2018, he was a support character. So effectively teaming up and just helping Kratos originally, now he's able to actually participate and handle his own battles. He becomes independent. And in the 3 years since the last game, he's grown. He can think on his own. He can fight on his own. He can pretty much do everything on his own. And by embodying Atreus, we can fully appreciate how he's starting to become his own man. And best of all, he does this, consciously or not, by leveraging both sides of himself. marrying the best of both worlds of his lineage. The survival lessons from his father, coupled in with the magic infused in from his mother, are helping shape him to be a capable warrior. Now, the other side of the coin, of course, is Kratos. Part of the brilliance of the Norse saga of God of War games is the fact that they don't shy away from the past of all the previous Greek mythology-inspired titles, which actually inform the current story. And so in doing this, Santa Monica contextualizes the central father-child dynamic far more deeply for me than other many games have tackled it. Because we've seen the similar subject matter before in games like The Last of Us, The Witcher 3, Telltale's The Walking Dead. We've seen the vengeful, loathsome, even evil side of Kratos has been, and that adds significant weight to everything he does now because we were able to witness this evolution, we were able to witness this change. Now, what this means is that Kratos is a deeply flawed character, and as a result, he's an utterly believable true-to-life father, you know? Because while we understand Kratos' efforts to protect his son stem from the guilt over the death of his previous family, that doesn't change the fact that it leads to him to exhibit, toxic behavior, essentially. His inability to properly show his love for Atreus, on top of the coldness and emotional unavailability and overbearingness, only serves to push Atreus away. Kratos is even advised against this behavior early on by Mimir, who then shares a surprisingly close bond. Mimir adds on to say, "Brother, he's going to walk his own path. If you don't want him walking away from you, then smarten up and walk with him a while." And sure enough, Atreus does walk away, repeatedly in this game. At first, it's in small ways, like sneaking out with Sindri behind Kratos' back, but later on, I may say, it manifests in more dangerous excursions. Take when he goes to Jötunn, where Atreus finds himself, after Kratos effectively told him to shun his Loki side because you are Atreus, you are my son, and nothing more. Here Atreus comes across Angrboda, a kind, bubbly teenager for whom he starts to develop feelings. Together they explore the mythical Ironwood Forest in a significant departure from the main Ragnarok quest. For some people, this section was way too long and boring, but for me it's one of my favorite parts of the game because it's able to take us out of the current objective, it takes us out of the current rapidness, because during the game we are rapidly hurtling towards Ragnarok. And so Ironwood gives us, a breath of fresh air. Because on the one hand, it serves as lovely respite from the harrowing apocalypse that's looming, instead of giving us, an infectiously sweet back and forth between Atreus and Angrboda. Atreus really only gets to spend time with adults previously, right? He was just a side character. Chiefly his hard-ass father and, characters like Mimir are the ones that he spent time with. Now, though, we see a new side of him because he gets to just be a kid. The sense of youthful innocence on display between the pair is endearing, reminding us fondly of Ellie and Riley hanging out in the mall in The Last of Us Left Behind. Again, when Atreus races through the mountains with Angrboda, Bear McCreary's cheerful, adventurous A Son's Pain is blasting in the background. I had a massive grin on my face. In many ways, Atreus and Angrboda are the beating heart of Ragnarok, the future that Kratos will inevitably commit to fighting for.
Well then, that's 2 out of 3.
Atreus,
Race me, come on.
I see what you're doing.
You know you want a rematch after last
I
time.
appreciate. Last time, I beat you.
I'm pretty sure it was a tie.
Pretty sure it wasn't.
So prove me wrong. 1, 2, 3, go!
Fine.
You coming or what?
Go! Go! Go!
Fuck? Oh no you don't!
Watch the turn here! I have absolutely no idea what you're saying.
This field always smells so amazing.
I assume your nose is much better like this. Don't get too distracted. Oh, come on! You're not getting tired now, are you? Those pods can only carry you so far. Whoa! Whoa!
magic fox the whole way.
Loki. Atreus. Thank you.
I'm sorry she was so hard on you.
Me too.
Now, Ragnarok also captures the little intricacies of an angsty teen who nonetheless has legitimate grievances with his father. After Ironwood, when Kratos returns from Valheim with Freya, he goes to confront Atreus about where he'd been. Here, Mimir had asked him to consider a measured approach, but Kratos, acting out of frustration, rather forcefully declares, "He will tell me where he's been." Naturally, this quickly leads to a heated fight, with Atreus upset that his father doesn't trust him, and Kratos thinking that he's recklessly plotting to seek Odin to prevent Ragnarok. With haste, the rest of their allies take Kratos aside, essentially ganging up on Atreus by doing so. Now, this isn't to say that Kratos is a terrible father, far from it. It's evident that he does care, in ways in which Ragnarok uses not only the main story missions, but an ample amount of side quests to illustrate. Now, we also see Kratos grow more empathetic. When Atreus returns to Brock and Sindri, ashamed of having let the deadly Garm free, the others start to admonish him. Kratos, though, acts a bit differently this time. He actually stands up for his son, instead of making him feel worse. He puts a hand on his shoulder, not soldier, and reassures him that together they will fix this mess. Atreus even asks if he's going to be reprimanded, and Kratos simply says, "No, I am relieved you're safe." What's more, this entire experience brings Kratos to a major epiphany. After they stop Garm and prepare to return home, Kratos finally has a heart-to-heart with Atreus, candidly acknowledging how he's wronged Atreus. "I have been falling back into my own ways, angry and distrustful with you, now and before. I chased you away." Once again, he actually says, "I'm sorry," with Christopher Judge expertly capturing all of this guilt and self-loathing in his tone. It's a far cry from the Kratos we got in 2018, I was about to say 2014, or even Ragnarok up until this point, because all of this in turn helps Atreus see the good influence his father's watchful eye has had, and the two finally come to an understanding. Now, from here, everything we see between Kratos and Atreus is just icing on the proverbial father-son cake. When Atreus feels immense guilt over the murder of Brock, Kratos tries to comfort him by accompanying him on a deer hunting trip, and later tries to apologize to Sindri. The night before they make the climatic charge on Asgard, Kratos lets Atreus sleep in his tent and tells him a story to help him go to sleep, all while trying to keep his wariness and reservations about the coming battle in check. Ragnarok takes his time to get to this tender, also human moments, so that they feel earned when we get them. Sony Santa Monica saved the best for last. Now, the word Ragnarok has been translated to mean doom of the gods, but also fate of the gods. That is the result of God's actions. It is fitting then that those who survive, those who thrive, are the ones that recognize the effect of their actions, those who are willing to let go of the poison they thought they needed to continue. God of War and its sequel tells a powerful and beautiful story. Viewing it through this lens, which I've tried to portray, focusing on Atreus' side of the story, we see a story of coming of age. Viewing it through this lens of the first game about the tight grip and its sequel is now an open hand, helped me see this world in a new light.
This is the foreign god that bested Baldur? Zeus! Your son has returned. This is the god that murdered a pantheon because they hurt his feelings? I bring the destruction of Olympus! What the fuck are you waiting for? Come on! Don't you know there is no forgiving you? What I've done? Yes! You chose!
We all gotta take responsibility sometime, huh?
Chose.
What is going on in that empty head?
He still slays gods, but now he's sad about it?
And no one said I chase redemption.
He chases a redemption he knows he can never deserve.
What does that make me?
We don't change.
You cannot change. You will always be a monster.